We're back today with another Reddit critique video where I go ahead and critique all your designs, mainly logo designs, over on our Reddit page, which has 6,500 members, or just under 6,500. It is completely free to join the Reddit page, and you can critique, check out other people's work, and have the chance to get your work upvoted so much that I see it on my homepage. But today it's a bit different because I released a few days ago a video all about paying designers who are subscribed to my channel to design a fake company called SolarDrop. I needed them to design a logo and the brand and show the mock-ups, and basically we paid 5 of these people to design these logos, and they were all different in different ways. And then we said also on that video that you might as well go ahead and do it yourself if you want to have a chance to show it on the channel so I can critique it over on the Reddit. So that is what we're going to be doing today, and I'm looking forward to seeing your work. Without any further ado, let's get straight in. Okay, so here is one from Mr. Nobody X3. If you want to know the brief and everything about this, then go ahead and click the video down below so you can learn all about it. The brief is quite long, I won't go into it, so click that video. So SolarDrop is like a company that sell items and deliver it to colonizations on Mars in the future. So here we go, SolarDrop. The color is obviously red, and again we've got a very muted palette of colors here, which is very odd to me. That's the first thing that stuck out to me. When I'm thinking of SolarDrop, we're a futuristic company. So this company is completely, the idea of it is to get people to be inspired in the future to go to space and to become star citizens. So when we have like these really earthy colors, such as, you know, this off-white beige at the background with the orange and the sort of coral color, it doesn't really scream futuristic to me. Does that mean it's bad? No, the colors aren't bad. And most of the time when we get designs on Reddit and on the channel, the designs aren't bad at all. I think it's just the wrong choices. And this is why it's super important to follow the brief that was set out. We're not looking for something that looks earthly. We're looking for something that looks futuristic, something that inspires people, something that is appropriate to space travel. The idea behind it is to look futuristic. So again, the colors, they're not bad, they just don't fit the brief. Now the drop in the middle, this star with like a drop of a planet, I understand it's like a water drop, and that makes more sense. You know, it's a nice play on words, but again, it doesn't really fit. Imagine that being on a spaceship. This is the reason why I wanted to do SolarDrop, because imagine if this was on a spaceship, would it fit on? Would it look appropriate? Would it stand against the competition? And I'm thinking about, you know, SpaceX. What's Amazon's one called? Is it Blue Origin? I should know this. Amazon Space Company. Yeah. Blue Origin, everything like that. It needs to stand up to these companies. It works in black and white. I like the typography, although it does look a bit too friendly. I would be thinking more along the lines of having block capitals for the typography. One little critique on the icon as well that I'll give you is the negative space. So the negative space within SolarDrop here in this droplet is not consistent all the way around. You need to change this part here. These parts here need to be thicker, and they need to follow the same width around, because you've got a perfect circle here and it needs to follow the same width around. Also, your drop is a bit weird as well. You've got like more anchor points in there. Let me show you a really quick and easy way of drawing a droplet in Illustrator. Go ahead, make a circle, that's perfect, and take your direct selection tool, go ahead, pick the first anchor point, come up here, drag it up a little bit, press Shift and C. That's like this tool here called the anchor point tool. Just click. When you click, it gets rid of those handles. Drag these up like so, and voila, we have a nice, perfect water drop with no weird anchor points in there. Minimal anchor points. This next one is from Anwar 697. Took a shot at SolarDrop logo from the last video, and this is what I came up with. I've been doing logo design for about 2 months now, so any criticism is appreciated. I'll also leave a link to the full project on my Behance if you're interested to see more mockups. Let's have a look. First impression, again, I think I saw you on my Skillshare class, which I'll talk about soon. I like the typography. The type actually works better. I would prefer it to be in full block capitals again, but that is closer to more of the futuristic idea of being in space. Having typography that looks futuristic will be better than ones that look a bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say Earth-like, but old school or generic. So I like that. Now the icon that you've got here is a bit strange. I understand you've got the word drop it in there, and you've tried to like link that with dropping a package, which makes sense. You know, it looks good. The idea is there. The only issue I have with this specifically is the negative space. Again, is not consistent. What you've got here is like, you know, lines coming out the back that they don't match the frame of the logo. So you've got a rounded drop box here, and you've got these very square lines coming out the back, emphasizing the drop. It works okay. It's not particularly balanced, and I know it's not balanced because when you like draw a line straight down and try to bring symmetry, that's how I know if it's balanced, if it's got even weights on both the left and the right. You can see it doesn't because of the angle, but I understand that the angle had to be a bit different for it to show the falling of the package. The negative space in there, if I was to zoom out, you see here, I can hardly see those lines. It kind of looks a bit too detailed. The thinner the lines, the more detailed the work is, and the less logo typey or the logo-like it is. I would go ahead and emphasize those lines, get rid of a few of these lines here, and try to simplify this right down into something that can work when it's extremely small. See this comet? That would have worked better, but it makes sense. You've tried to add the crate in there. I would have just gone for the comet. But what I do love is your mockups. You've got the brief in there in the color blue. You've explained why. Mockups are cool. Again, the logo type is just the words solar drop. I'm sure there could have been other things you could have done within the typography, but again, the mockups really sell the idea, so well done. Okay, we've got one from, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that one. Let's see what other people are saying about this before I do. Kind of weird choices with the line thickness and font, but direction has got potential. Tweak it a little more. The icon is too thin. It's not recognizable and small. Okay, first of all, I can't even see the logo, and that's not me having a go at you. It's very difficult, especially when you're first starting out in design, to understand scalability, but it's one of the key fundamentals of logo design is scale. If you can't see that logo clearly, it's not an effective design. Although the icon looks cool, I think you need to simplify it way down. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the big issue here is called color. In typographic terms, the word color is used for the shading inside of a letter form. So when we're drawing type, which I do because I create fonts and do hand lettering, we add color to them to make it look real, basically. It will change the perceived thickness of the typography if it's just stroked out or if it's filled in. So here is Solar Drop in my font called Lockdown Sans, which you can go ahead on my website and grab if you want. And basically, when you have it lined, it looks a lot different. And the way to accentuate this is by basically, if I was to go ahead and ungroup this and create the O as an outline, it looks so much different, obviously, when it's scaled down, when it's just got the line weight in there. But it also looks different from, let's say, this O here, when just looking at it here. And that's because of the way that our brains perceive thickness and weight. And in typographic terms, again, filledness inside of the type is called color. Now, in your logo here, the icon, the actual logo, isn't filled in. So that gives an off-balance look, and it's kind of disturbing when looking at it. Not in an offensive way, it's just the only word that could come to mind. But because you've got like this line out here, it does not work with full color typography here. Understand? Your choice of typography here, I would not say is like, you know, the best, because it's not. I know people are going to get annoyed at me, but it is just not futuristic enough. It's the only way I can put it. It's a test to see whether you guys can follow a brief. And within this, obviously you've done a great job and it looks nice. Aside from the icon, the typography looks nice, nothing against that. But within the brief, it needs to, one, be on like, you know, packages. It needs to be scalable. The typography also like has to inspire people for space travel. And what this does is the opposite. It's more earthly and more old school than it is pointing towards the future. That's why when we have companies like Tesla or SpaceX, everything they design, even like down to the Dragon capsule, is made to look intentionally futuristic to inspire the world to space travel. I like the cap though. I love the choice of color. That is a nice blue on that hat. It looks a bit too friendly. I'd like something a bit more hard hitting, but dude, well done. Good try. Before I go into the next one, I just want to like give a bit more of an explanation as to why everything is space themed. Number one, I love space. It's a known thing here. Space inspires me. I follow everything to do with it. Number 2, I just released a Skillshare original class. That means that Skillshare came and filmed it, so you know it's going to be good. And the class is all about generating ideas for logo designs. It's basically following a brief from a client up to fruition. And we basically go through this class like there's no tomorrow. It's unreal. It's probably my best piece of video work that's ever happened because it explains absolutely everything in good detail, but also respecting your time. All you have to do is click the link down below in the description. And I think the first 1,000 people to click that link in the description gets to watch it for free, as well as thousands of other Skillshare classes, originals, and staff picks, all to do with design, photography, everything. But make sure you watch mine because mine's the best. So go and learn some good logo design. So this one is a new one. 8 days ago, you posted this one. So Solar Drop. So number 1, there's a lot going on in this logo. Number 2, I like the fact that it's red. Within the Skillshare class, I talk about making connections that people wouldn't make and how we do this. And you can go and watch it to find out. But because it's so literal, as in you've got the Mars planet there, you sort of, and I don't know if it's unfair for me to say this. It might be completely unfair. But you sort of boxed it in to just Mars.
Well, that's a little unfair.
When this company, we are expanding. This is the idea of the company. It is expanding and it will be going to other planets in the future. Although the red planet there looks okay, it would be nice to just have something, probably blue. So again, here we go. Solar Drop, you've got it in the middle with a planet. So you've got a lot of detail. Let me count the shapes. This is how I do logo design. You've got one shape on the outside, which is this circle. You've got another shape, which is encapsulating it to give the illusion of a circle in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've got 8 elements in this logo. For a good logo, a good system for you is 3 elements at most. The typography is very futuristic, bordering on the edge of GFX, which is like game graphics. It's not like exactly what I would do. It looks slightly unprofessional. This one looks better. That one is the best. This is the one that you need to stick with. Why don't you show me this first? This one is so much better because you've got like a simple icon that can be reproduced and used upon spaceships, clothing, everything. When you're doing this brief, you know that there's going to be spaceships involved. So you need to work out what's going to be seen on a spaceship. No to this. There's way too much going on. Simplify it down. Ask yourself the question, do you need those red parts in there? If you don't, get rid of them. Here you go. You've got all the other logos here from the mood board, the inspiration from NASA, SpaceX, Starfield, Star Wars. In fact, let me show you how much of a nerd I am. I have to go get a book, John. It's a graphic standards book. This is how much of a nerd I am. This is the NASA graphics standard book. I'm all about that space thing. What I'm trying to get across is don't use other space logos as your inspiration. Use something else. Use connections. So for instance, I put a simple word inside the brief called Phobos, which is one of the closest moons to Mars. You could use that moon as inspiration. You could also use anything as inspiration from creating connections. And again, that's in my Skillshare class where we do a space themed logo for a company called Origin. Yep, I would just stick with this one in the middle. Simple, works really well, nice and clean, can be futuristic. This next one is from Chris. You've got some keywords in there. So you've taken the brief here and you've added some keywords here, which is good. Reliability, inspiration. Okay, you've done these all in PNG, so it's going to be hard for me to see. So planet plus rocket. Okay, you're showing this. Okay, so Pantone colors, red and blue, red for Mars, blue and red. Okay, and this is the logo here. Okay, so again, the typography looks more something like a game company selling a subscription for like your merch. That's what it is. It's not exactly space themed. You see this? Even the packaging of the book in this foil, it's like space themed. This is what I'm talking about. The logo here looks cool and it's space themed. The icon that you've designed here kind of makes sense. It's very abstract, I'll give you that. But the problem is you cannot identify that when it's in black and white. And when something's embroidered, put on a t-shirt or anything that can't have color on it, then you're not going to win. It's not going to work. You won't be able to see the color. App icons, yeah, again, It looks a bit strange. It also looks a bit dirty in my mind. Let me know if any of you can see it as well. It looks a bit rude in some areas. I will not go any further than that, but I do like the mock-ups you've got here. Great use of mock-ups, really like that. You've got the t-shirt. Again, it would have to be color, you see. It would have to be color on the t-shirt, which is very expensive. What would I do differently? I would just simplify it down, dude. Like, I know you've tried to simplify it down, but the execution is wrong in this one. And that's not me trying to be nasty. It's just me trying to help you understand what a good design would be. It's not really balanced because it's on an angle again. And most logos that you see are not on angles. They're very, very box-like. So they fit in an equilateral square in balance. Simplify it down, see what you can do. Maybe go back to the drawing board and think of new concepts for this, but good try, good try. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, there's another Reddit one that you'll see in the sidebar, or you can go to my channel to find it. But if you want to see the video where we pay actual designers, 5 of them to be exact, to design the same logo from the same brief or a different logo from the same brief, then go ahead, click that video. It's really fun to watch. And if you'd like to learn logo design or understand what I was talking about with making connections with keywords, then go ahead, click the link for the Skillshare class. I'd be really happy if all of you went to go watch it. It's completely free. Just sign up and do what you need to do. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.